Well, 24 hours to process whatever happened on Saturday night, the big loss at South Carolina. And I don't know that 24 hours is going to help any of us process exactly what happened in that loss to South Carolina.
I mean, just go back a week. A week in college football is an eternity, right?
Yeah.
A week ago, it's 38 unanswered, 66-24. Hendon's up on the
rolling,
directing the band, and then a week later, you lose 63-38. Hendon Hooker tears an ACL and his career's over. I mean, just the feel and the vibe. Yeah, the feel and the vibe just is. I mean, it's surreal in a lot of ways, Jason.
Yeah, and college football is humbling. I mean, one moment you're feeling really good and feel like you're invincible. You can go in and beat anybody. You look at how South Carolina has played during the season. It hasn't been great, especially offensively. And then you go into a hornet's nest and they play their best game offensively, and you play your worst game as a whole. So college football is humbling. And if you're Tennessee, you handle business in the locker room. You talk about it amongst each other, but you better ill fix it this week because Vanderbilt sees blood in the water and they want to beat you just like South Carolina.
So 63, the most points that a Tennessee team has given up in the modern era. 1995, when Peyton was a sophomore at Florida, they gave up 62 in the downpour of the second half. You allude to the locker room. You've been in locker rooms. How much does that play a part of mentally going out and playing a football game if there's something going on and we don't know if there was or not?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to look at that performance yesterday and sit there and say that something's not right. I mean, something certainly didn't look right out there.
But what we've heard all year long is that this is the greatest locker room behind the scenes, or the cohesive and all that, and yet we're wondering.
Well, I don't think they're divided. If you're asking, is the offense and defense divided? No, they're not divided. Now, did they have some people that made some dumb decisions this past week?
Yeah.
Sure. Those people weren't there last
that have
night.
before.
And again, the leadership of this team will be tested this week. You've got a lot still in front of you. You had a lot in front of you last night, and it didn't work out against South Carolina, but you still have a lot in front of you. 10 wins, first time since 2003. But potential New Year's Six bowl game, which means either the orange or cotton, because the sugar's out the door after last night, because the sugar is they have to take the highest ranked SEC team that's not in the college football playoffs. That will not be Tennessee. That will either be LSU or Alabama.
So how do you answer the question, what happened?
What happened defensively or as a whole?
Yeah, what happened defensively?
Well, defensively, it just didn't show up.
South Carolina had scored 6 points against Florida. They gave up 31 to Vanderbilt.
He didn't show up.
10 against Missouri.
Well, they scored
7
6.
against
Those
Georgia.
6 were on a fake punt. They didn't score any offensively.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, you took a Spencer Rattler who had thrown 8 touchdowns on the entire season. He threw 6 against Tennessee. It just doesn't make any sense.
You didn't show up. They scored 9 touchdowns on 10 possessions. And you look at 2 weeks ago, how Tennessee played against Kentucky. You look at Missouri and shutting them down in the second half. Then you go on the road and you play the way you played against South Carolina. Something didn't compute there.
Did you ever have a game like that? Did you ever have a game where you were rolling and everything, you were higher than a kite, and then all of a sudden you just have the I remember back in the NBA Finals back in the 80s when the Lakers played the Celtics and there was the Memorial Day Massacre, where the Celtics just killed the Lakers. And then the Lakers won the series, but it was like by 47 points. I was like, how did that happen? Did you ever have a game like that?
Not when you didn't have any distractions. I mean, we had some games where, there was some off-the-field stuff. Guys got arrested, something like that during the week, and there was a distraction, and you go out there and you didn't play the way you wanted to.
Just weren't there?
Yeah, but not when everyone is locked in and ready to go, and you had a good solid week of practice. Usually, it transports to the playing field on Saturday.
Okay, so let's focus on the news that is of today. As we're watching Hendon Hooker right here, the torn ACL. Now you go forward. You've got a Vanderbilt game. Vanderbilt's rolling. All of a sudden, can't say that very often. They beat Kentucky and Florida back to back.
Yeah, they've won the last 2, and they're going to give Tennessee their best shot.
Jason's giving me a weird look on the phrase Vanderbilt's rolling.
Well, they're playing for bowl eligibility, and if you'd said that a year ago, that in year 2 Clark Lee would have his team at 5-6 at this point, I don't think anybody would have believed you. But they've been way more competitive this year. They went out there and they won some football games that people didn't think they were going to win like the last couple of weeks, and so they'll have everything in front of them that they were trying to get to before the season started, which is to be able to make a bowl game. And again, it's against Tennessee, the rival from just down I-40. So I mean, it's one of those games where Tennessee's got to come out and they got to play well and take the crowd out of it if you can. That would have been great last night. Problem is Tennessee fell behind, early and often and just could never, make that up. So, I mean, you look at the 2 losses. You fell behind in both games. Crowd got into it, gave them a chance to kind of get some momentum. Yeah. The crowd at Vanderbilt is a little different. It's not going to be Georgia, and it's not going to be South Carolina. So, with that said, Tennessee though has got a lot of change this week coming, and so I think some of these young guys, some of these less experienced guys are going to have to step up on both sides of the ball.
Now you've got a quarterback who's experienced somewhat, who's now your quarterback. Joe Milton steps in, and he has an opportunity. You think he's going to be the starting quarterback next year. This gives him an opportunity to kind of prove himself a little bit going into the offseason.
Yeah, it certainly does. And if you're Joe Milton, you want to be careful with trying to do too much. I mean, he goes down with the injury, then Tennessee's in real bad shape from the quarterback position. So offensively, do you keep him in the pocket, less runs, or do you say, hey, we're going to use you normally and have you out there running as well? So
Austin's nonverbal is alive.
He was on a solo shot, so I was shaking my head
I was sharing that with the viewers at home.
You have to, I'm not saying that you don't pick your point, pick your times, but I think he's got to make some runs. He can't just set him in the pocket the whole night. I don't think that that's good. I think I love what they've been able to do. Joe, just has a different feel to him this year from a physicality standpoint. A year ago, he wasn't running the ball with the authority. In fact, if anything, he was shying away from getting hit. Yeah. And all of a sudden, he's lowering his shoulder and using that big 6'5" frame. Even last night, I mean, use your frame, man. I mean, he ought to be a just bulldozer. And I think there's a real opportunity there for him to be a playmaker with his legs. And then when that happens, they're going to have to come up and then right over the top to Squirrel White or whoever. I mean,
I'm talking about call runs.
No, I know that. Yeah. I'm just saying I think you should call runs for him because I think that he can be effective that way.
We saw some draws last night, too, from Joe when he went in there. So,
so let's flip camera 4 over here to Cedric Tillman. We're going to bring him in, and we got to make a transition now. One of Tennessee's obviously top receivers, and Cedric, I'm going to ask you the question. You go from Hendon Hooker, Heisman Trophy, probably finalist, and all that stuff. Milton comes in. When he throws the ball at you, is it almost self-defense with how hard he throws it?
No, I wouldn't say self-defense. He definitely puts a little bit more zip to it. But, like you guys been saying, I think, these next couple of games, gives Joe an opportunity. I know what he can do, but I think it gives him a good opportunity to prove and show the world, what type of quarterback he is.
All right, well, let's take a break. Jason Swain's going to head over wide receiver with wide receiver, the Food City player perspective when we come back in the locker room, connected by Iris Networks.
The Locker Room is brought to you by Fellowship of Christian Athletes, Iris Networks, Knoxville Orthopedic Clinics, and Exterior Home Solutions.
When it comes to the game of football, teamwork is critical for success. When it comes to customer service and business, that team approach is just as critical. That's why we're such believers in our friends at Exterior Home Solutions. We have seen firsthand how Exterior Home Solutions has supported our community and treats their customers just like family. So when it comes to roofing, siding, or maybe a complete overhaul, please make Exterior Home Solutions your first and only call.
Football is back, and OEB Law is excited for a season full of big hits and those nail-biting near misses. If you've been injured, OEB Law will come to your defense. Call OEB Law and turn your wreck into a check.
Blue 2020 F-150 41990. Hut. Jake drops back. He's got a deal wide open. The crowd goes wild. With savings, whether you're looking for a low-mileage pre-owned truck to tailgate in or a minivan to get the whole family to the game, the Pre-Owned Patrol has what you're looking for. Only at Ted Russell Ford on Kingston Pike or Parkside Drive.
Hey, this is UT head football coach Josh Heupel. It's football time in Tennessee. When the Big Orange play, you don't have to miss a second of the action. Before, during, and after the game, just make sure your radios are tuned in to 107.7 WIVK. Or if you're on the go, download the WIVK app and listen anywhere. Your flagship station for the Tennessee Volunteers. 107.7 WIVK. It's a Tennessee tradition.
Do you want top-of-the-line fitness equipment for home, school, or work? New or reconditioned, Dynabody in Maryville has everything you need to build that gym. Used equipment brands include Paramount, Life Fitness, Nautilus, Hammer Strength, and Precor. Reach for the power with Dynabody.
Tonight's Food City Players Perspective takes us over there with Jason, who's with Cedric Tillman. Cedric has had a huge impact on Tennessee football the last couple of years, but he's had a huge impact also in the community. He gets out there, he goes and reads to schools. He is one that's very giving with his time. Even doing the show tonight for us after a tough loss to South Carolina, Jason, kid is going to be missed around here for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, showing already that he's professional, and we know he's going to be professional here soon on the football field. Cedric, just career-wise, man, what stands out to you, man? You've been through a lot of ups, a lot of downs, injury, coaching changes. Just what stands out to you the most as you're kind of reflecting on your time here at Tennessee?
Adversity. Yeah. Like you said, since I got here in 2018, it's kind of been up and down. You know, this year, up. Unfortunately, down yesterday and a couple weeks ago against Georgia. But definitely, you know, I've had some great times at Tennessee, and I cherish every moment of it.
What was the toughest thing dealing with the injury? Because I know you had big plans this season to go out there, catch many balls, you know, be one of the leaders in the SEC in the country. But unfortunate ankle injury. Mentality-wise, how did you keep yourself into it for the rest of the season?
Just trying to keep the main thing. You know, injuries happen. You know, nothing you can really do about it sometimes. And, you know, great training staff, great coaches who, you know, let me come back when I was comfortable and ready. You know, just teammates encouraging me. So you're right. I had goals and dreams for the year, you know, but like I said, adversity happens, and it's about what you do and how you react to it.
I know Tennessee fans were really excited to see you get into the end zone, especially doing it twice last night against South Carolina, even though it was in a loss. But, man, how was it just being your old self physically, getting up and catching those balls at the highest point?
It felt good. You know, being honest, I feel like I could have done that all year, but, you know, I was sidelined. But like I said, things happen. I was glad I got to see the end zone a few times yesterday, and, you know, it was great.
Hendon goes out with the injury. It's going to be Joe Milton moving forward. What are you expecting from Joe Milton that's maybe a little bit different than Hendon?
You know, Joe's a good quarterback too. You know, I think he'll be able to, you know, lead the offense and lead the team really, because, you know, now it's his team, now it's his time. You know, obviously praying for Hendon, wishing him the best. But now we have to follow around Joe, and, you know, now it's the leader. So I think Joe is going to be a good transition, a smooth one, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he does.
Tough loss against South Carolina. Vanderbilt's up next. It's a rivalry game.
Yeah.
Got to handle business to finish out the season. What is your mentality? What are some things you want to accomplish in potentially your last game here on Rocky Top?
Man, just playing hard.
Yeah.
You know, that's what we have to do. We got to play hard for 60 minutes, both on the offensive side of the field and the defense side of the field. And like you said, Vandy's been on a roll. So, you know, they beat 2 SEC teams the last couple of weeks, and they're going to give their all, you know, to be bowl eligible. So we definitely have to stay 10 toes and come out there ready to go.
You made a lot of plays here on Rocky Top, man. Give us your favorite play in your career here at Tennessee, whether it's a touchdown, not touchdown. Give us your favorite play.
My favorite play, 2020, last game, Texas A&M. My diving catch, that's my favorite play.
That was a good one.
Yeah, that was my favorite. That's the one that got it rolling. So definitely 2020, for sure.
For young receivers coming in, playing in this offense, what kind of advice do you give them?
Be in shape. No, but just play fast, play hard. When the ball comes your way, you know, make the play. If you don't make the play, you know, luckily Coach Heupel and the other coaching staff, they're coming back to you the very next play. So, you know, just give your all, play hard, and it really will take care of itself.
NFL time. Hard to kind of block it out during the season. Everyone's hyping you up. You got to have good people around you. How have you handled knowing that the NFL is really, really close? How have you handled being able to, stay locked in on the task at hand with your regular season with Tennessee?
Yeah, it's about keeping the main thing the main thing. The NFL is great, provides an opportunity for myself and my family, but obviously I'm at Tennessee right now, and my goal was to, win as many games as I could this year. Unfortunately, I did get sidelined a little bit, but, every time I was on the field this year, I tried to give my all. And, like I said, we had a few hiccups this year, but, we got to finish strong.
What are you going to miss most about playing at the University of Tennessee?
Oh, man, playing for my brothers, playing for the coaches, playing for the fans, and playing for the great men and women that wore the T on their helmets or wherever before me. So, yeah.
I love it. Cedric Tillman, one of the best players, played receiver position at the University of Tennessee. Looking forward to seeing him one last game here versus Vandy, and then off to the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, he's had a spectacular career. He wasn't on the field as much as he would like to have been this year, but still has a chance to will go down as one of the top receivers to ever play and wear that T on the side of the helmet.
Yeah, no question about it. By the way, Cedric, thanks for coming out tonight. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
By the way, if you would like to support the initiative that is Spire Sports and the NIL, you can do that by being a member of the Volunteer Club. You can join at volunteerclub.com. More of the Locker Room when we come back right after this.
The Locker Room is brought to you by Commercial Bank, Humana, E2 Sports, and OEB Law. The Locker Room is brought to you in part by Knoxville Orthopedic Clinics, the exclusive orthopedic provider for University of Tennessee athletics for over 70 years.
This is the story of John Smith. Not this John Smith, or this John Smith, or any of the other hundreds of John Smiths that are Humana Medicare Advantage members. No, it's this John Smith, who we paired with a Humana team member to help address his own specific health needs. At Humana, we take a personal approach to your health to provide care that's just as unique as you are, no matter what your name is.
Behind every Food City meat and seafood counter is a highly trained, certified butcher. Our butchers offer special orders, custom cuts, and even entire meal recommendations. In fact, you'll be so impressed with our butchers, you'll be asking yourself, what can't they do?
Huh, I bet he'd be great at wrapping presents.
Okay, well, maybe not that. But at Food City, our butchers make almost everything better.
D1 training is not only for the athlete who wants to perform at their best. D1 offers adult training programs because we believe everybody needs training. With a specialized facility, targeted workouts, and professional trainers, D1 Training has been in business 20 years strong. We'll give you everything you need to succeed. All you have to do is show up. Join us, D1 Hardin Valley or D1 Sevier County.
D1 Sports Training, the place for the athlete.
Humana goes inside the huddle, and an opportunity for us, I think, to honor Hendon Hooker. Obviously, the torn ACL, and he has done what a spectacular career. And I think when you look back of how Tennessee turned the corner, and they really turned the corner this year, you look no further than number 5.
No, I mean, again, when you're Tennessee and you've been just kind of, not very good at the quarterback position for several years, and then all of a sudden you find your guy.
Yeah.
It just made things so much simpler, so much easier, and credit to Hendon. He I think really improved from year 1 to year 2. He was good last year. He's even better this year. And you just hate to see it end the way it ended. I mean, just not in the loss. That has nothing to do with it. Just the no contact ACL injury.
I mean, he was a guy that played hard every single down, gave it his all. Probably could have slid a little bit more during the season, but he didn't because he wanted to pick up every single yard for for his team. And you hate that his career at Tennessee ended the way it ended last night on an injury. And one thing we know from Hendon, just covering him a short amount of time, is that he is going to bounce back stronger from adversity. He did it at Virginia Tech. Yeah. He did it here at the University of Tennessee. And he's going to do it at the next level.
I don't want to ask a stupid question. This is going to be a stupid question, but that's why I keep myself around. Where's the number one spot that Tennessee has got to focus on in recruiting going forward, be it high school, be it transfer portal, be it whatever, however you do it these days?
There's no number one. It's a bunch of positions. They got to.
I just assumed everyone was going to say defensive back.
No,
well, based on last night.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to have you have no tight ends coming back. Let's assume Jacob Warren's not coming back. He went through senior day. Prince DeFance eligibility's over. You got to have tight ends, which is a big part of this offense.
Right.
You need this offense still doesn't have an elite running back in it. You'd love to see an elite running back. Secondary, safeties, safeties.
Okay, here we go. We're getting somewhere now.
But I mean, you can go interior defensive line, offensive tackle. I mean, let's say Darnell Wright's going to go pro like most people think he is. Well, all of a sudden, offensive tackle is a real liability heading into next year. So, I mean, I think ultimately, you need a lot of different spots. You can go out and fill them, but you need quality. You need quality.
The receivers.
Quality upgrades.
The receivers.
Well, not just bodies, right?
Well, I mean,
not just a warm body.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know what Hyatt's going to do either. So, receivers. But Austin's right. There's a number of positions Tennessee needs to address.
Is there enough? Here's another dumb question. Is there enough there for Tennessee to stay where they got to this year?
Well, but no one thought this team was going to get to where it got to this
I know
year.
That.
So,
I understand that.
So, right now, everybody's going to go, oh, this team just won't be that good next year. I mean, they've got to replace Jalen Hyatt, Darnell Wright, who are going to leave early. They've got to replace Hendon Hooker and Cedric Tillman and, all these players.
Were they that good just because they had a special group?
No, I think it was kind of a combination of a lot of things. You're good at quarterback. You had some older veterans that I think helped kind of bridge the gap between being left for dead 18 months ago and where we're at right now on the verge of a potential 10-win season. Having that extra COVID year has been helpful, and guys developing. I mean, I think the development by the staff has been really good.
Okay, let's say it this way. Tennessee built itself into what they did as quickly as they did through transfers. I mean, let's be honest about it. They did transfers. I mean, Hendon Hooker a transfer, Tillman a transfer.
No, Tillman's not transfer.
Tillman not transfer.
You go, okay, not Tillman, excuse me.
Brew
McCoy.
Yeah.
You go down the list, and there are a bunch of transfers. Is that the quickest way to fill all those holes now, where you couldn't do it when you were playing there?
It's the quickest way. It's not the most reliable way sometimes, but it can be the quickest way. When I was playing, the quickest way is to go through the JUCO route, but that was hit or miss. And transfer portal can be hit or miss too, because it's a reason why some of those guys are in the portal. Now, we know there's other circumstances now of why guys will be in the portal. So, yeah, you can fill some holes now in the portal for sure, but you still want to build the bulk of your team with high school players because you have them for 4 years.
Yeah, I mean, really, you think about it, Brew, Hendon, and then Juju Mitchell. What are the transfers actually playing a ton? I mean, everybody else either came in via JUCO, prep ranks. So, I mean, some impactful guys, yes, but what Ole Miss did this year was they hit the transfer portal hard, and they're thriving compared to losing a ton last year. Because now they didn't thrive the last 2 weeks. They got beat by Alabama, and they got beat by Arkansas really, really bad. But the season they'd had up to the last 2 weeks was because some of those transfers came in and they hit on them. Again, if you're going to go to the portal, it's quality over quantity.
And I think also the fact that Tennessee did what they did, there are going to be a lot more guys a lot more interested in Tennessee now than they were 12 months ago.
And they should be. I mean, Heupel's 2 years here. He's done more with less. He's done more than what he was expected to do. So that's something that you can sell. Offensively, there's plenty of opportunities to make plays. Receiver, running back, you mentioned tight end. So there's opportunities.
And defensively, there's just lots of opportunities.
Lots of opportunities.
You think, you know what honestly that reminds me of is Bruce. When Bruce Pearl came in and he did more with less that first year, and then that gave him the opportunity to recruit his guys. But he came in there and had Dane Bradshaw dominating Joakim Noah down low when they won a national. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which is exactly
guys to play above their
exactly what Heupel did. and is doing. We say did. They've still got Vanderbilt, and then they got a bowl game. We'll wrap things up when we come back in the locker room, connected by Iris Networks.
The Locker Room is brought to you by Pilot Company, Ted Russell Ford, Food City, and Lincoln Memorial University.
Community banking is about location and much more. It's about family. We reside in your community. We are a part of your community. At Commercial Bank, our commitment extends beyond the walls of our branches. It's displayed each day in the opportunities we provide, the money we give back, and the time we commit, all to help improve the lives of the people, families, and businesses that make our communities great. Commercial Bank, life made better.
Hi, I'm Dr. Michael Costa. Dr. Malone and I here at Knoxville Smiles are here to help you with any of your dental needs, whether it's a routine cleaning, a root canal, or if you just want some advice. Did you know that you don't have to settle for a denture anymore? My team and Dr. Malone are here to help you no matter where you're at and to help you figure out the truth for your dental health. So give us a call or visit our website at knoxvillesmiles.com.
Matlock Tire has a reputation for being a little bit old school. We're proud to be known for our outstanding hometown customer service. We've been doing things that way for over 60 years. But Matlock now offers new modern conveniences, such as family-friendly waiting areas, online appointment scheduling. You can even shop for tires and see our current stock right from your computer or smartphone. We invite you to stop into one of our 5 convenient locations or come see us online at matlocktireservice.com. Modern convenience, hometown service. Matlock Tire Service and Auto Repair.
I chose LMU because I wanted doors to open for me. For my future to have endless possibilities. To know I could become anything I wanted to be. Objection, Your Honor. I always wanted to say that. So whether I wanted to be a veterinarian, a high school teacher, let's turn to page 32, or a successful dentist, I knew LMU would help me get there. All I had to do was open the door.
One more chance to win lunch with the Vols. HillaryFrostHomes.com will announce the winner. Well, it's coming up December the 4th. Who and along with 3 of your friends going to have lunch with the Vols thanks to Spire Sports and Hillary Frost Homes of Keller Williams. Okay, so Tennessee goes to Vanderbilt this week. Do you remember 2016? I'm not trying to be negative.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I'm just not trying to be negative.
No, it's a similar scenario, except for the games weren't back to back. Had everything in front of them in 2016. You had the East lead going to South Carolina. You lost. That means you lost the lead. Then you're playing for a Sugar Bowl bid. And you're not playing for a Sugar Bowl bid, but you're playing for a potential New Year's Six Bowl bid, which is Orange Bowl, Cotton Bowl. Again, Vanderbilt's playing for bowl eligibility.
This is a bowl game Saturday night.
Yeah, that's one way to look at it for sure. I mean, I look at it just having pride and bouncing back and playing football the right way.
How tough is that?
I mean, that's. You
spent the whole year talking about, geez, we're right there in the college football playoff. We need so-and-so to beat so-and-so, TCU to lose, Ohio State. Now all of a sudden it's like, go beat Vanderbilt and get to a good bowl game.
Well, here's the truth. Last week, you humiliated Missouri.
Right.
You put up big points on teams. You've blown them out. And South Carolina and the nation couldn't wait for it to happen to Tennessee.
You calling karma?
And it happened to Tennessee. So now, what are you going to do about it? How are you going to respond? Are you going to go out there and put up the same performance you had against South Carolina, against Vanderbilt? Because Vanderbilt sees blood in the water, and they want to do the same exact thing to you. And there's no mercy here. I remember Dooley's last season here. It was ugly. They was pouring it on, having a good time doing it. So don't expect Vanderbilt to feel sorry for you. Have some pride in your play. Go play football the right way and finish this regular season out with the win.
Last 10 years, Vanderbilt 5, Tennessee 5.
Really? Yeah, 15 seconds. That means we got to say goodbye. Tennessee Vanderbilt next week, and then after that, we'll find out where they're going bowling. Thanks for joining us tonight on The Locker Room.